Hello. So what happens when you resolve blocked core emotions at the root through an energy release meditation? So the best way to describe it is what I went through. So I've been on the whole self-help, recovery, spiritual meditation, spiritual awakening, law of attraction, manifestation journey for 30 years. Changed careers, changed religions, went through all types of spiritual practices. And the main thing for me was that even though I did all those things, when confronted with a trigger, the effect that those had wasn't enough. And sometimes, honestly, I would still get very emotional and sometimes explode. And what I was really looking for was this emotional core release. What I was really looking for was something that I do it once, maybe twice, and its effect is immediate. I don't have to do it again, and it continues, and just continues for years and years. That's what I really wanted. Something where I didn't have to keep motivated to keep doing it and spend sometimes hours of my day, every day of my life, trying to be a more peaceful person, especially in the face of my triggers. Well, this was it. So the effect now is when I hit those triggers, that little helpless child voice kind of guy inside that takes things all personal, that says things like, oh, you hurt my feelings, and then feels self-righteously justified to complain to you, to the person who hurt me, or complain to friends ad nauseum. That part of my personality simply dissolved. And so under triggers, my inner consciousness is simply still and quiet. Lots of times, to my amazement and surprise, like that part of my personality simply died off, or at least got receded to the back of my consciousness so much that I could barely hear them in there. And when I've done this work with other people, they say the same exact thing. And the people that I work with are constantly triggered with anxiety because I work with people, parents of adult children or young adults who have addiction and mental health problems. So you can imagine the kinds of yelling, screaming, anxiety-inducing moments that they've had. And the parent is trapped in it. I mean, you can't return your child to Walmart and stuff. You can't divorce your child. And they don't want to disown their child. They want to find a more peaceful, softer way that's not the throw them out of the house in tough love kind of way, because that just doesn't work for them. It's not who they are, and it's not in their heart to do something like that. And so what this protocol does is, just like I said, it takes away that anxious, controlling, even neurotic part of your personality that just wants to control the situation, especially under a trigger, and dissolves it. And so what parents tell me is, and I've said this before in another video, my daughter under the throes of her addiction is screaming at me, and usually it just triggers me to scream back. But this time, I just miraculously sat there and just listened to her, and I felt calm. I was able to talk to her in the way that I wanted to talk to her. I set boundaries, but I did it calmly. I said, things that I wanted to say, but I wasn't screaming. I wanted to say that's not respectful, and I would prefer us to talk in a different way. But whenever I'd say that stuff, I'd be screaming that stuff. Now I just said it calmly. And what's amazing is I didn't have to, honestly, do therapy or affirmations or meditate for an hour first to get there. And it just continues it's been like this for months. Other people report, I used to be a people pleaser a lot, especially at work, because I honestly didn't believe in my worth. And I felt like I had to keep doing things for people so they would see my worth. Now, I'm much more confident and assured at work. I assert myself when I need to, and I'm just more peaceful overall. So these are types of things that people say. And again, the way they describe it is like it's immediate and it's abiding. The first person I ever did this with, she still says 5.5 years later, that peace is still with me. So this is the effect. I just want to do a video on an example in my life and in the lives of people I've helped with this emotional resolution work. And I'll be starting to do these kinds of meditations, what I call emotional energy release meditations, tonight, hopefully every Wednesday around 9 to 10 o'clock p.m. There's a video that I'll be releasing that's all about, what you may need to know if you want to do this. But the goal is to do weekly live streams of these kinds of meditations in which I get from the commenters, what core emotional block that's affecting your life would you like me to fashion a meditation around? So I thought it would just be a good idea to explain it first to you. Thanks.